What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Madden 25 video. Please do me a favor, take a moment, hit the like button for me, as well as subscribe to my channel. Of course, I welcome your criticism in the comment section, and as always, I play it for you at speed and ask you to follow me on Twitter. My username is ShutdownSafety. I want to talk about the importance of double team pass blocking and have an example here to show you that, and also really say this is most prevalent in even rush situations, but even in this situation where technically the offense has one more person to protect, it becomes pretty noticeable. So the first thing I want to do is, focus on the way this line interacts. You can see there, Robert Mathis, my linebacker, is up at the upper right-hand corner of your screen, but I'm only going to pressure with, two defensive linemen and really two defensive ends because Mathis is a defensive end in this scheme. But I want you to notice, as the ball snaps, Watson goes over and then makes the assessment that he needs to help Cooper. And real quick, for those of you who haven't seen what's happened to Chris Cooper, I'm so glad to see this man back on a football field. It was a devastating injury. For those of you that haven't ate within the past half an hour, search Chris Cooper injury, and you'll be glad to see, even though his digital form here is getting beat, that he's able to be back on an NFL field. Very good, and proud of him for overcoming that injury. But with that said, again, he's part of the reason this video is being made. You can see Walton, kind of almost shows that decision of do I go help, Cooper, or am I going to go over and help number 68? Who is a bigger threat? And you can see Corey Redding starts to drive Cooper backwards, and at that point Walton makes the assessment, okay, this is where my assistance is needed. Now, compounding this whole issue is the fact that I'm actually doing a spin move on Painter, number 70 there on the right side of your screen. So this is going to basically generate pressure in two ways: collapse, I don't want to say the pocket because there's really not much of a pocket here, but it's going to collapse everything back to where Peyton Hillis has to make what's ultimately going to be an incorrect decision. I mean, there's going to be a player that sacks Peyton Manning in this scenario, so it's not so much what Hillis's decision is, it's just who is not going to be sacking the quarterback. But however, to get back, to Walton, if he was able to successfully start double teaming with Redding and Cooper, they could stop his push back into the pocket and at this point generate enough time for the ball to be thrown. But because that doesn't happen, you can see he basically just gets turned back around, and now Hillis has basically two defenders in front of him and then really no one but one lineman stuck in the block. So as Cooper kind of gets thrown to the side here, Hillis is going to elect to go to the outside. And like I said, I'm not worried about this decision making. There's no good or bad. I mean, it's going to happen at this point. Hillis elects to pick up the user, I suppose, and then leave Redding kind of to pretty much demolish Peyton Manning. But again, the problem basically stems here as we watch this play out at speed, that double team pass blocking is not there. It's critical to the execution of the play and the protection scheme. And I realize for those of you that say, well, you've got 5 seconds in the pocket here, just playing at speed as the quarterback, and that's all well and good, but that's also a very unconventional way to generate pressure that no one would be able to read, much less the computer, although it does know everything that goes on all the time. But one and the same. Leads to unrealistic situations, needs to be fixed. Hope you guys appreciate this video. I'll be back in the week with more content.